This show is brought to you by the Genesis Communications Network, a world leader in talk radio since 1998. Visit GCNLive.com today.
The stocks discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering on acting on information, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice.
What kingdom has sent you?
The kingdom of the Most High.
Nothing you have ever experienced can prepare you for the unbridled carnage you're about to witness. The Super Bowl, the World Series, they don't know what pressure is. In this building, it's either kill or be killed. You make no friends in the pits and you take no prisoners. 1 minute, you're up $500,000 in soybeans, and the next, boom, your kids don't go to college and they've repossessed your Bentley. Are you with me?
The Genesis Communication Network is proud to bring you Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week elf, Mark Leibovit, welcoming you on board his financial time machine. And here is the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Welcome and good morning. It's Mark Leibovit. It's May 21st, and thank you for tuning in to Wall Street Raw. A lot of other choices on a Saturday morning, and certainly appreciate you making the choice of tuning in to Wall Street Raw. Our show is archived at GCNLive.com, also on my website at WallStreetRaw.com or VRTrader.com, whichever you want to go to. It goes to the same place. And it's also on iTunes, so if you missed the show or you're not carrying the show in your city, you could always pick it up on the Internet at GCN Live or on iTunes or on our website. You know, thank you for joining us this Saturday morning. There's a lot going on in the world this week. As you know, I believe in borders, language, and culture, and I believe the state of American journalism is on the verge of collapse, if not already. Ideology has permeated hard news coverage, and honest reporting is becoming almost scarce in the financial and political circles, and that's why we created the Wall Street Raw program to talk a little bit about what's going on out there. We have too many reporters and financial analysts massaging what is fed to them and not questioning it or challenging it, as is the role of the Fourth Estate. This past week, we saw the minutes from the Federal Reserve meeting indicated that a June rate hike remains wholly on the table. The committee noted it would continue to assess incoming economic data, whether it was consistent with the Fed's dual mandate. As a result, the Fed fund futures market ended the day with about a 38% likelihood of a rate hike at the June meeting. So that was a reason for Wednesday's market nosedive. I could hear the submarine siren shrieking, dive, 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 and it was a riot. It was also profitable for us because we were short the market. As you know, I have been cautious for more reasons than just sell May, go away. Basically, you have a Fed that, in my opinion, is somewhat insane. We have a world that's in recession, if not depression. We have negative interest rates offshore, a deflationary climate. We have our own economic woes, despite the numbers that you are hearing. We're not having seeing strong signs of a improving economy. There are segments of strength, but the numbers are massaged. And basically, in my opinion, overall, we've entered a bear market. There's going to be volatility, as we've seen along the way. And, obviously we could see a little bounce more here this coming week and maybe even a little bit of a summer rally. But then we're going to be heading down again, as we normally do, into the fall. And it could get, quite severe. So, we're just going to pretty much trade it as we see it. You got to trade what's in front of you, despite my comments here. We've done a lot of interesting trades here. We've mentioned the cement stocks here in the last couple of weeks based on the premise premise that Donald Trump was going to be nominated and or become elected, and even if that wasn't the case, the stocks were, headed up and moving in the right direction. So with the gold stocks, trading those were moving, though they are in a pullback phase right now. The bond market was showing resiliency because of uncertainty in the stock market. A lot of opportunities out there, and that's really what we were looking at and continue to look at. So we had an interesting situation this week when the market started to nosedive. Suddenly, the New York Stock Exchange flipped the switch, and that happened in the afternoon. There was about trading in about 199 stocks was suddenly interrupted by a supposed critical technical issue, but some claim that this was done deliberately to stop the huge sell order, which could have sent the stock market spiraling down out of control even more. We've seen this happen a few times, and I know it borders a little bit on conspiracy theory, but the exchange does have the right to suspend trading, but sometimes we don't hit the circuit breakers of the Dow being down X amount of points, and suddenly you just see everything stop. So, I'm more in the camp that somebody throws the switch to stop the selling, and we're going to see more of that, I believe, in the months ahead, and possibly even over the next couple of years if, we get some momentum going here. My problem is that I see the S&P, which is currently trading in the 2030-40 range, heading down to 1,500. That's an old breakout point from the last couple of years, and that could happen over a couple-year time frame. So that's one heck of a sell-off. So that's sort of my problem, because that's where I really see the market heading here over an intermediate term basis. So I'm not that excited, though we do trade both sides. Some stocks you have to check our list, but we're doing well in some of our individual trades. We don't like to talk about too many of them on the show here because it comes across as a recommendation. But one particular name, let's see, something new this past week. We've been in Taser, TASR, still long that stock, thinking to trade a bit higher, had been pretty depressed. So we always find opportunities out there, in some individuals. There's also in the medical marijuana space, one of our favorites we keep talking about on the show, and I own it personally, is GW Pharmaceutical, GWPH. In fact, I think they have some meeting on Monday in front of some analysts, so that might generate a little bit more interest. But the big story there is they're waiting for FDA approval of their medical marijuana product. They are a British company. The stock trades in the 80s. It's an expensive stock, but it's been as high as 130. So we trade it in and out all the time. If you check our portfolio list at VR Trader, we're just looking for opportunities, even though we are bearish and trading the inverse indexes on the market as well. That's really our job here. Despite all the nonsense that's going on in the market rigging, which I talk about ad nauseum with my friend Sinclair No. We'll be joining him, by the way, in just a moment. And also, we're going to be joining a good friend of mine, Jim Rohrbach, on the show as well. He's a bit of a market timer, been around forever, and he's in his 80s, and always respect those who have survived this long in the business, though we are losing some of our bigger names out there. So we will have Sinclair with us on segment 2 and 3, and we do address the rigging of the market. And I'm going to emphasize this again, and we don't emphasize it enough. All markets are rigged. It's not a level playing field. You've got interest rates rigged, currencies rigged, the gold market has been rigged, the stock market is rigged, and this is the game. I saw it when I was a floor trader on the Chicago Board Options Exchange years ago. I see it in my numbers. So the whole story that inside information is illegal, well, that's not even relevant, because you got the government in there, and all the governments participating. If the Fed's not doing something, the Japanese are doing it, or Mario Draghi is doing it in Europe. And I guess that's my fear as a bear, because with markets rigged, you can't fight the Fed. Marty Zweig used to talk about this forever. He passed away, unfortunately, in the last year or so, and that was his phrase. And, obviously, if Janet Yellen decides wants to go to negative interest rates or start a QE4, that could force money into the market, and you could see stocks take off again in a big way. It could be a big bear market rally, but it could hurt us if we're positioned incorrectly. So we have to watch the numbers really carefully here, and we obviously do that at VR Trader. So we have an interesting show again. Sinclair will be with us, and my friend Jim Rohrbach. And stay tuned, and we'll be back with him in just a moment. Thanks for joining us.
listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to WallStreetRawRadio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Palesti of the Palesti Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
All right, listen up, because this is the most important thing you're going to hear all day. What if I said you could make money flipping houses without any cash, credit, or manual labor? And what if I said you could do it part-time from the comfort of your home? Sound unflippin' believable? Hi, I'm Preston Neely, and I'm going to prove it by sending you a free copy of my smash hit selling book, How to Get Rich in Real Estate. It sells online for $19.95, but I'm giving away free copies this week. To get one before they're gone, call 1-800-959-9582. I used to be so broke, I had my electricity shut off 9 times, but I figured out a simple way to make money flipping houses without even breaking a sweat. Now I'm living the good life, and so should you. Listen, if you're sick and tired of stressing about money, this book could change your life. Hands down, it's the fastest, easiest way to get started in real estate. Let me prove it. Call right now to find out how to get your free book. When they're gone, they're gone. Call 1-800-959-9582. 1-800-959-9582.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com. So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Are you sneezing, coughing, and aching? Do you have a sore throat, a fever, or the sniffles? There's no reason to be sick this cold and flu season with immune system support from Supernatural Silver. Supernatural Silver can give your body the help it needs to fight off harmful pathogens without hurting beneficial gut flora and without leaving behind resistant bacteria. Antibiotics can damage good microflora and often leave behind bacteria which can cause problems later on. If you're sick of being sick, try Supernatural Silver. Supernatural Silver, the #1 choice of thousands for a safe and effective way to protect against the many diseases and illnesses that we are facing today. Go to supernaturalsilver.com, read our customer reviews, and see the life-changing results that people are having. That's supernaturalsilver.com. Supernaturalsilver.com. Use the promo code PROTECTED for 20% off your entire order. And like us on Facebook. Supernatural Silver.
We use mobile devices right against our bodies every day, but growing scientific evidence has emerged showing serious health risks associated with exposure to EMF radiation emitted from these devices. The solution is Defender Shield, the most effective mobile radiation shielding ever developed. Defender Shield blocks virtually 100% of EMF radiation from cell phones, tablets, and laptops, and starts at just $64.99. Buy now at DefenderShield.com. For 10% off, use promo code GCN. DefenderShield.com, the worldwide leader in mobile radiation shielding.
Think big. Think positive. Never show any sign of weakness. Always go for the throat. Buy low, sell high. Fear, that's the other guy's problem.
Welcome back to the Wall Street Raw Radio Show with Mark Leibovit, your time machine for the financial markets. Want to know more? Go to WallStreetRawRadio.com. Now, here's the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Good friend from MeetTheBankers.com and financial commentator KFNN 1510 Phoenix back on the show this week. Really appreciate you being here, Sinclair.
Always a pleasure. Thank you, Mark.
We have so much to talk about as usual, but we have the Fed working. The Fed's working in our behalf this week if you're bearish on the market, because they did exactly, or proposing to do what they did in December, raise rates. Market got nervous, starting to come down. S&P new lower low relative to its recent high. Volume increasing to the downside. But all the economists and all the commentators are telling us the fact they're raising it is a sign that the economy is strong, and we should be optimistic about the fact that rates are going up. What do you say?
I say that if you're short, as you are, I know, congratulations, because this market looks like it's just rolling over from here. Now, yeah, we are starting to see some inflation in the economy, which the Fed has targeted for 2%, mainly a result of higher oil prices. How long that lasts, well, that's something we'll have to wait and see. Have we seen some employment growth? Yes, we have. It's been going on now for, 74 months consecutive.
If you believe the employment numbers.
Well, and I essentially do.
Okay.
There have been jobs added. Are they particularly good jobs? Are they good-paying jobs? Are they in the exact numbers that are stated? No, probably not.
And the unemployment figures are still not counted in there?
You can look at U6 for a more accurate depiction of unemployment, absolutely. And I think that's probably a much better read. We can look at the labor force participation rate as a better indication of how much employment we really do have. So, yeah, there are a lot of things you can look to define it and get a better understanding that even this long string of job growth is not as strong as you would really like to see. It's been a lot of slack in the labor market, no question about that. Then you got the Fed minutes released on Wednesday, and they're saying, hey, you're getting it all wrong, markets. We got a rate hike on the table for June. And the market suddenly did a big flip. At first they didn't believe it, I think, because Wednesday it didn't change much. But then Thursday the market started heading down. As you say, you can look at a variety of things now. Fed policymakers have been jawboning this for a while, saying, we really are serious about this. Doesn't guarantee they'll raise rates in June. However, it is on the table. So you've got a rate hike. You've got declining earnings in the market. You look at higher rates, that pretty much kills off stock buybacks, which have been a big influence in the markets, that little financial engineering that the Fed has allowed the markets to do. Then you also look at a stronger dollar. That would be a consequence of a rate hike, and that's going to hurt profits even more, which might cut back on any additional hiring that might be going on. You mentioned some of the technicals. We've moved under the 50-day moving average, the 50-day dropping under the 100-day moving average. You add in the lower lows and lower highs going back really to August. You've got a double top that's formed in the S&P 500 where we did not take out the old high but came close. We've rolled over on higher volume, add in uncertainty of an election year, and, of course, don't forget the seasonality of sell in May. Where is the bullish argument for stocks?
I don't see it.
I don't see it.
Here's the interesting point. Remember how hard the market came down into February, and the Fed was talking about more incremental or periodic rate increases, and they delayed. I think partially because of the market's big sell-off into February. And I'm thinking, maybe, I don't know if you agree or not, if we see another big sell-off unfold, we're starting to see it now, this June hike may not happen, and we may get a summer rally if the Dow drops enough now between this time and, was it June 23rd? Not that far. And jawboning will start. we'll hear the same stories. Well, the data is the important factor, and suddenly it doesn't happen. I'm thinking that could be a scenario. Again, it could be delayed.
Well, and we've seen it before. We've seen these tantrums from the market. Back before Bernanke left, we had the taper tantrum. I'm not sure what you call a rate hike tantrum, but, that's basically the same thing. And yes, if the markets do go down enough, Fed could very well change their tune and get concerned about it. Don't forget, we also have the Brexit to deal with.
Right.
The British potential exit from the European Union. There'll be a referendum that will take place right at a week before the next FOMC meeting in June.
Perfect timing. Yeah, if Britain leaves the European Union, who knows what the consequences could be.
Well, Fed would not be raising rates right. If they knew that an exit was going to happen, I don't think they'll raise rates in that scenario.
We don't even know what the markets would do with that. We assume it's bearish. We assume the euro. We assume the euro's in jeopardy at that point.
We would assume, but we don't know.
Right. Market could surprise us and say it's a relief.
And the Fed won't know by the time they go in to make their decision and set policy at the next FOMC meeting. They won't know. They'll have to wait a week like everybody else to find out what happens in that referendum.
So if it's really going to be that 1 week, then I think there's a good shot that they're going to delay despite all the fireworks we're seeing right now here at the end of May.
Maybe they're trying to get the markets to do a little of their work for them. But you know the old saying, don't fight the Fed.
Right. Marty Zweig used to talk about that all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but the Fed's working against us now, not for us. They should be lowering rates to negative territory.
It depends upon how you're playing it. I know you're short the markets. The Fed's doing work for you.
No, I agree. But those negative rates could drive prices higher in stocks as people have to get their money out of the bank into something that's not going down.
That's right.
So could be that could be the case, Sinclair. Thank you for joining us, Sinclair No, financial commentator, KFNN Phoenix, and author of the great blog, EatTheBankers.com.
Always a pleasure. Thank you, Mark.
Sinclair is going to join us back in just a moment, and we'll finish up some of our thoughts regarding what happened this past week. And again, it was a very, very interesting week. We had options expiration on Friday, and we started to see a little resiliency in the market, and the market got oversold after the big sell-off here on Wednesday and Thursday following the Fed rate announcement or proposed announcement. So there might be a little bit more, maybe end-of-the-month window dressing or some buying perhaps coming in here. So we're going to have to watch the numbers really carefully here. But overall view is you got to be a little cautious here as we enter the summer. So Sinclair will be back with us in just a moment, and we're going to have Jim Rohrbach as well coming one afterwards, so stay tuned.
Go to WallStreetRawRadio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at WallStreetRaw.com. At WallStreetRaw.com, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth, help you avoid the next big market crash, and also stay healthy to enjoy your wealth. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of the Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to WallStreetRaw.com and sign up for his free weekly Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free Gold News Raw report. You will receive both weekly, and both are totally free. No credit card information is required. Sign up today for your free Vice News Raw and Gold News Raw reports at WallStreetRaw.com. That's WallStreetRaw.com.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
Dangerous blood clot device alert. If you or a loved one had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to your heart or lungs and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. These dangerous blood clot devices can break, and the metal fragments can travel to your heart or lungs, causing serious injuries. If you or a loved one suffered organ damage or other injuries from an IVC filter, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. InjuryHelpDesk.com is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Think about this. Your community's aging water infrastructure systems are very likely to be contaminated with heavy metals like lead, disinfection chemicals like ammonia, chlorine and chloramines, and pharmaceuticals like statins, pain meds, and antidepressants. And no, water treatment plants are not equipped to filter these pharmaceutical toxins out. Protect your family's water supply with the trusted Big Berkey water filter. New NSF EPA-certified lab tests show Big Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria, and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market, the gold standard in water purification, and our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Anything that is thy neighbor.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw. Want to know more about Wall Street Raw and the Leibovit VR newsletters? Go to WallStreetRawRadio.com.
Welcoming back Sinclair No, financial commentator 1510 Phoenix, and author of the great blog EatTheBankers.com. Well, I think we had enough of the Fed discussion in the previous segment.
We can
Sinclair.
keep going. There's lots we can say about the Fed.
We could keep talking about market rigging and until we turn blue in the face.
Well, really, when you look at it, I've heard some estimates that 90-95% of the market's movement support for the rally that we've seen since the 2009 lows can really be traced right back to the Fed and, their quantitative easing 1, 2, 3 and forever and ZERP and everything else. So you take that away, you've got to be concerned.
Right, and they are changing their stance, so maybe we are entering a 1 or 2 year bear market if the Fed's going to be less accommodative. But as I said a few minutes ago, Sinclair, I'm not so sure they're not going to switch direction on us.
Hard to say.
I mean, Janet Yellen seems to be very accommodative in that regard. We noticed this past week that Japan's economy dodged a recession last quarter.
Abenomics.
Negative interest rates.
Go figure. It apparently is having some effect, and they're going to keep going with it, and they're going to increase the stimulus. Abenomics 2.0 coming up.
And that's why we're probably next in line.
I wonder if we would ever see negative interest rates here in the U.S. I think it would blow a lot of people's mind. It's baffling to me, quite frankly, how the economy would fare under negative interest rates. You know, part of the idea behind negative interest rates in the Eurozone and in Japan was that people would start putting their cash to work.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't just leave it sitting in the bank because that cost them.
But they're still leaving it at the bank. That's the problem.
Well, actually, you know what they've done? They've gone out and they've started buying. There's been a lot of buying going on of safes.
Yeah, people are hoarding their cash.
People are hoarding their cash.
Right.
They're buying safes and putting it in their own personal safe.
So I think the government wants us to spend our cash, and they want to get their money out of the bank, moving again. So that's why, in my humble opinion, why you could see negative interest rates.
You could. It's a possibility.
And we'll see. I know, but listen, it's already happened. It's not like we're talking about a theoretical scenario. It's happening with 3 key places around the world right now.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I don't know. It's just not something I think we can dismiss. But I think if it did happen, it could drive stocks higher.
It might.
It might. Because
you're looking for a place to put money?
Yeah. They want to stick in the safe at home, fine. But some may still go into the market thinking, I'll buy that dividend stock.
Might.
You know, by AT&T, it's still yielding 5%, and it seems like it'll stay in business another 50 or 100 years. And why pay the bank to hold my money? I mean, I don't know.
Sounds better than paying the bank.
Right. So I don't know. I think it's a plan. That's my current thinking.
And there's really no security with the banks anymore. I mean, we've seen this recently with that story about the Central Bank of Bangladesh losing some $81 million through a SWIFT transfer. SWIFT is how they transfer from country to country bank wires.
Bank wires, yeah.
And apparently, guess what? It doesn't work. The hackers have figured it out, and they've made off with, so far, $81 million. They say there's more out there. This past week, SEC Chair Mary Jo White comes out and says cybersecurity is one of the biggest risks there is for financial institutions, and many of them haven't done anything to prepare. And she's worried. It was probably the most we've heard from the SEC on the issue so far.
Mm-hmm.
The hackers are winning.
No question about it. Well, we're also seeing, I was going to say, we don't have to worry about Donald Trump anymore, Sinclair, because the Chinese steelmakers have already seen import duties rise significantly here. And Trump's been saying we're going to do something about what's going on in China with the currency and with the imports, but we're already seeing it.
There was about a 522% increase on tariffs because of unfair competition. There was a suit filed by the major U.S. steel companies. So, China just got slapped down as far as their steel industry goes.
Right. So more of that could be coming with Trump. But not much more, I guess, since he's made such a big contribution
already. He's got to come up with a new idea.
Right.
Don't worry, there'll be another one tomorrow.
So the IMF is pressing Eurozone to let Greece skip paying interest payments now. We've been talking about Greece now, for 6-7 years?
Something like that.
It just doesn't end.
And they haven't gotten better. They still don't have growth. They're not going to grow their way out of their problems. And they don't have enough money to pay their debts. So what are you going to do? Well, at some point or another, you better figure it out that they're not going to pay. It's just not going to happen. So what the IMF is saying right now is, okay, we'll put it at a very low rate. I think it was 1.5% interest only based upon their ability to pay, stretching it out to 2040. Maybe we'll stretch it out to 2080. So we'll just let that debt linger over another generation of Greeks. But the reality is it's either that or you're looking at a Greek default. And that's not good, particularly with the Brexit coming up.
That's a good reason for Britain to leave. They don't want to be supporting Greece. Unless they want a lot of olives and olive oil.
I'll tell you what, it's a nice place. Beautiful islands.
Beautiful islands, yeah. Maybe we should all move over there, right? I'm sure the Britons would enjoy the winters there versus in Britain. Sinclair, thank you for joining us again, taking so much time with us on a Saturday morning. It's Sinclair No, author of EatTheBankers.com and financial commentator KFNN 1510 Phoenix. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Well, in the short minute or so we have left in this break, let's look over some of the active movers on the market this past week. Of course, you had the downside sell-off. We had Coca-Cola Bottling, that's COKE, down 20 points or 13.5%. We had Red Robin Gourmet Burgers, that's RRGB, down 13 points or 21%. We had the Public Storage REIT, PSA, only down 3.6%. That was about 9.5 points. AutoZone was down about 8 points. That's AZO. That's about 1%. We had Constellation Brands, which has been a big hot stock recently. That's the alcohol company, STZ. That was about 7.5 points or 8.5%. Time Warner Cable, let's see, that TWC was down 6.5 points, or about 3% during the week. And there were winners too. We had Berkshire Hathaway. That's Class A, up 693 points. It's BRK. That's a 0.3% move. Of course, that's an expensive stock. NVR, or that's NVR, up 53 points, 3.2%. Markel, MKL, at 25 points, or 2.6%. Spark Therapeutics, that's ONCE, up 17 in the third points. That's a 51% gain this past week. Regeneron Pharmaceutical, which has been a hot stock. REGN, up 16.5 points at 4.5%. We had McKesson MCK, up 16.5%, 16.5 points, about 10% move there. Tesla had a 12.5 point gain there. That's TSLA, about 6.1% push there. So we've had some action here in both directions, and watching those percentage gains and trying to stay on top of those for you. So we're going to have my good friend Jim Rohrbach with us on our next segment. Jim has been market timer for 45, 50 years, been around a long time. It's an honor to have him on the show. So stay tuned. We'll be back with him in just a moment.
You're listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to WallStreetRawRadio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week Elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at WallStreetRaw.com. Here, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth, help you avoid the next big market tsunami, and also stay healthy to enjoy your wealth. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to WallStreetRaw.com and sign up for his free Vice News Raw report. You will receive it weekly, and it is totally free. No credit card information is required, and no one will call. Sign up today for your free Vice News Raw report at WallStreetRaw.com. That's WallStreetRaw.com for your free weekly report from Mark Leibovit and WallStreetRaw.com.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
Suffering from illness or disease?
Frequently in pain?
Overstressed?
Always tired?
The solution is to oxygenate your cells because
disease cannot survive in an oxygen-rich environment.
Introducing Vital Ion, the first mineralized edible oxygen in the world. Go to toolsforfreedom.com and get the Miracle of Oxygenation DVD free with any Vital Ion purchase. Call 800-770-8802. That's 800-770-8802. Let Vital Ion edible oxygen be your daily fountain of youth.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop. You save. Get full details in the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
Responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
There is no freedom without the law.
Get it? Got it? Good.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw and the final segment with Mark Leibovit. Now, here's the elf himself.
Would enrich anyone but a ruling elite. There's a common misconception that socialism is about helping poor people. Actually, what socialism does, it creates poor people and keep them poor, and that's not by accident. Under capitalism, rich people become powerful, but under socialism, powerful people become rich. When you look at the socialist countries like Venezuela, you find out that the rulers are fabulously wealthy. And I think Jim's with us now. Welcoming a very special guest on our show this Saturday morning on Wall Street Raw, an old friend, Jim Rohrback, from the investmentmodels.com service and website. Jim's been around since, he's been in the market since the 1960s, that's for sure. Jim, maybe it's best you describe your background, but I know you're a market timer, top market timer on Timer Digest over the years, and I know you like to keep it really simple with what you do. We don't talk about stocks, we just talk about whether the markets are up or down, and you've been very consistent with that over the years. So tell us a little bit about your background and investment models.
In 1964, I was an executive at AT&T, and I turned around one day and I see this guy at his desk. He was doing something, and I went over and said, "What are you doing there?" He says, "I'm posting a stock I can't tell you the name of that book, but I picked up the book, but I couldn't put down the subject. I decided that if I could identify the changes in the trend of the overall market, I might be able to make some money at this game. And so I worked on it for, I think, 7 years. And finally, I discovered that I was hitting it every time. I was calling every trend change, up and down. And I've been doing it since then, and I'm still calling every trend. My latest trend is on February 17th I got in, and I think we're up around 9% since then, so that's much better than the bank, I think. So,
and no question about it, and you do focus on the market, not on individual stocks, correct?
I don't do individual stocks. There's a lot of guys out there who do. I'll let them carry that ball. But my theory is, especially for people approaching retirement age, that you have to keep what you have and hopefully make some money besides. So I invest in the S&P 500, which allows me to have my money spread over 500 stocks, and if one fails, it won't affect the portfolio. And, that's what I do. I keep it very simple. I act only when I get a signal to buy and sell. I don't make any estimates, projection, or guesses. I think predicting the future course of the market is a fool's game. And people who do it will sooner or later find out that they can't do it. So you don't have to predict it. You have to react to it. Now, since July of this year, the Dow has dropped from like 18,000 down to 15,500 in July area. It went back up to 18,000, and it dropped again to around that 55 area. And now it's at 18,000 again. Well, what does that mean? It means that we had several opportunities to make money. And if you're a short trader, which I don't recommend, you can make money when the market's going down. So those are nice swings, and those are the kind of swings you need in order to make money as a trader.
Jim, if the market's going down and you get a sell signal, you can do an inverse ETF, correct?
Yes, I could. And I can do an inverse S&P 500. I trade mutual funds that offer S&P 500, and I do that because a long time ago I thought, I don't want to call a broker when I want to make a trade because they'll try to talk me out of it. And they do. So I just deal directly with the funds. It's in my newsletter, everything that I do. I tell my subscribers what I do, and when I do it, I put my money where my mouth is, and if that's good enough for them, they can follow me.
Good advice. So what vehicles do you recommend for the listeners to use when you time the market? What type of funds?
Well, I use Ridex and I use Pro Funds, and they have an S&P 500 fund that is one of their funds. So that's what I recommend. That's what I use. Sometimes I get a little aggressive and go 2 times the S&P. But normally I just trade the S&P, 1 time the S&P in Pro Funds or Ridex. And then when it's time to get out, I put it in their money market fund, and I go back to sleep.
And the great advantage of those is that there's no commission on those trades, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That's correct. No commissions. And I like them, too, because I did a little investigative work there, and I feel that they have enough money, they manage their money well enough so that when there are redemptions, they can handle them, if you know what I mean.
Jim, we ran out of time. I know I'd love to have you for a much longer interview, but we have a short segment. We're talking to Jim Rohrbach from investmentmodels.com. Is that the best way to reach you?
If somebody wants to get a copy of my free copy of my newsletter, they can write to me at Rixindex, RIXINDEX.com. I'll be glad to send them a copy.
Repeat that one more time for our listeners.
Jim, J-I-M, at Rixindex, RIXINDEX.com.
We're talking to Jim Rohrbach from Investment Models, Inc., based in Orlando, Florida, good friend and a great market timer, and hopefully we'll have you back on the show real soon, and thank you so much for squeezing us in on this Saturday morning, Jim.
Well, thank you, Mark, and I look forward to coming back.
Take care. Sorry we got delayed on getting Jim hooked up here this morning, but there's always the possibility of some technical issues. But thank you, Jim, for joining us, and I would check it out. If you're interested in just pure index trading, of course, we do that at vrtrader.com, but we don't use the RIDEX funds, which are great, or pro funds, which are good because, as we mentioned in the interview, there's no commission on those trades, but you only have the opportunity once a day, or maybe in the case of a couple, and maybe twice a day to enter a trade. So that's something to keep in mind there. So, winding up the show this week, we had the Fed meeting. We had a bit of a sell-off. Now we're starting to get a little bit of a bounce. Looks like maybe to go a little bit further, but I still think we're in a negative period here, so we got to be careful. And if we get a summer rally, I think you're going to see it down again. Gold and silver still very bullish, but I think they're in a pullback phase here, so you got to be careful there. And as I always say, we're going to talk about with my good friend Ed Hart. He used to close it as he does in his show, and here we will know in the fullness of time. Speak to you next week.
Thank you for listening to Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week Out, Mark Leibovit. If you missed any of today's show or to get in touch with Mark, please go to WallStreetRawRadio.com. Any stocks or investment discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. We first recommend you seek out a licensed financial professional for advice. Go to WallStreetRawRadio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at WallStreetRaw.com. At WallStreetRaw.com, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth, help you avoid the next big market crash, and also stay healthy to enjoy your wealth. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of the Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to WallStreetRaw.com and sign up for his free weekly Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free Gold News Raw report. You will receive both weekly, and both are totally free. No credit card information is required. Sign up today for your free Vice News Raw and Gold News Raw reports at WallStreetRaw.com. That's WallStreetRaw.com.
A good stove is at the top of the list for any serious survivalist. That's why you have to see the full range at Emberlit.com. Simple, elegant, but extraordinarily efficient. Available in titanium or stainless steel, the Emberlit line of stoves are ultralight, pack flat, and work great. Fueled only by sticks and debris. From emergency situations to long-term survival, Emberlit stoves are up to the task. Emberlit, the most convenient, easy-to-carry wood stoves on the planet. See them all at Emberlit.com.
Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.